When growing in containers, you want to have a container that's adequate size for the particular item that you're growing. We're going to be putting tomatoes in this High Five from Rootmaker. It's an innovative device that helps air prune the roots. More roots means more fibrous roots, means a healthier and happier and more productive plant. So we filled this up with certified leaf compost. We're going to grow in strictly leaf compost, and we're going to grow this Eckert Polish tomato. It's an heirloom, very red tomato, very nice, round, large tomato. Now with planting in containers, it's a little different than planting in the ground, meaning you've got good, rich, fertile soil here. We're still going to add some amendments, some fertilizer, to help it grow better. In addition to adding that now, we still will have to fertilize it about once a month in the top 2 inches and water it in, because in a container, as you water, the soil, the moisture pulls the nutrients out of the soil and flushes it out, just the way it works. Now we're putting this in one of the walk paths here in our garden. You can put this anywhere you'd like, just want to make sure it has as much sunlight as possible. Minimum 6 hours, more preferably 8+ hours of sunlight. So we want to dig this deep. We're going to dig the hole deep because all hair follicles on the stem can and potentially will put roots on. And more roots is a happier plant. So I'm just going to remove some of this compost from the center here. Now I am also going to add, even though this is good rich compost, I'm going to add some bone meal that will also increase root development and flower production. And both of those are important because that's the key elements here to growing a tomato. So put a little compost on top of that so we're not in direct contact with the fertilizer. Remove this out of its container and plant it. Now if you have any stalks or any limbs that's going to touch the soil or be beneath the soil, go ahead and remove them. That's not going to hurt the plant at all. Now I'm going to go, before I put any more soil on their compost, I'm going to add some Epsom salt to this. Helps the plant pick up the necessary calcium. Also, regular watering will also do this. If you have adequate calcium in your soil and you don't water on a regular basis or it doesn't rain, it locks it out and the plant can't pick up that calcium, and that's where you get blossom end rot, the rotten portion at the bottom of your pretty tomato. So by doing this, the magnesium sulfate helps the plant pick up the necessary calcium that is needed. You can also use powdered milk at the time of planting as well at the bottom of the hole. So everybody who plants tomatoes has their own unique way. This is the way we're doing it. I will add a fertilizer here to help the plant, feed the plant. You can use an all-round organic based fertilizer. And now I'm going to backfill this, and I may add a little bit more compost to top it off. There we go, that's better. That's good. Now, before I'm done here, I want to do 2 more things that is very important to the health and well-being of this tomato plant. One being adding a handful of whole grain cornmeal on the top of the soil. Whole grain cornmeal will help prevent the blight that's in your soil. Also has blight, that's the discoloration of your leaves as it crawls up the plant. It's a bad bacteria in your soil, and the beneficial bacteria in the whole grain cornmeal will counteract that and greatly reduce it. Now another way, in addition to whole grain cornmeal, to greatly reduce the amount of splash up, which is what your plants, 90% of your problems that you're going to face is soil splashing up in your plants, use dry grass clippings as a mulch, shredded leaves as a mulch, straw, any type of organic material as a mulch. You're holding the moisture in the container. In addition, you're putting a barrier between the soil and the tomato plant, and that's going to make your tomato plant a whole lot happier. In addition, we're going to cage this tomato so we can get it up vertical, add some support so we can get more luscious fruit off of it.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.